Welcome to another Cooking 101 where we're going to be making homemade lasagna. Here are the ingredients that you're going to need to make lasagna. I like to use the oven-ready lasagna noodles. They work just fine. Minced onion, oregano, Italian seasoning, garlic, ground white pepper. I don't know if I'm going to need the oil. I grabbed it anyway. I'm going to use two kinds of cheeses. I'm going to use the shredded cheddar, and I'm also going to use the Italian shredded cheese and cream cheese. And then my homemade spaghetti sauces. I pulled like tomato paste and sauce just in case it needed to get a little thicker. Garlic, ricotta cheese, and eggs. And then I have my burger already in the pan. So now it's time to get going on this super easy lasagna. I'm going to start by doing the ground beef. I have about 3.5 to 4 pounds of ground beef in here. I'm going to be adding 2 tablespoons of minced onion, 1 tablespoon of white pepper, 1 tablespoon of garlic salt, and 2 tablespoons of oregano. Also, I'm gonna add a tablespoon of garlic. I'm gonna cook the meat till it's done, and then once it's done, I'm gonna add my homemade tomato sauce. And I did get 1 can of crushed tomatoes and tomato paste because my sauce is thick, but not really. So I wanna make sure that it's really nice and, nice, like a normal, nice spaghetti-ish, base. So I have my hamburger already in here. So now we're gonna add our spices, get that cooking. Now let's add the spices. I did add a little bit of oil to my burger because it is so lean. So now we're gonna add everything. I'm gonna use my handy dandy chopper. A lot of people ask me why I use the white pepper, because white pepper doesn't have such you know how black pepper is a little spicy and it can be like a little, when you eat it or when you put it on stuff, it kind of just can be a little spicy and just real like a strong taste. I feel like the white pepper is more smooth, so when you add it to some recipes, it blends in, the flavors blend in, but it's not like, ooh, pepper. So that's why I use white pepper with a lot of my dishes. All right, I'm just gonna get this cooking, and then when the hamburger's done, we're gonna add the sauce and continue. So the meat is almost done, but not 100%, but it's still gonna be cooking and then cooking. So I'm gonna turn this off, and I'm gonna add the sauce. I have 2 sauces. I'm gonna reserve a little bit of the crushed tomato to put on the bottom, so when I put the noodles down, it doesn't stick to the cast iron pan. Then I have 1 little can of tomato paste. And no, I didn't drain my meat because I actually had to add a little water to it just because there's no fat in it. It was starting to stick to my pan. All right. This is the first time I ever made spaghetti sauce. It turned out good. This has lots of tomatoes in it. Okay. Get that bay leaf out of there. All right, now we're gonna add the crushed tomatoes. I added onions and peppers. And then I added bay leaves and spices, and I kept my tomatoes kind of whole, it looks like. And I added a can of tomato paste. All right, I'm gonna stir this up. The meat is hot, so it'll keep it hot. All right, so I'm gonna stir this up and I'm gonna set it aside, and then we're gonna get the cheese going. Now it's time to do the cheese mixture. So it's 2 eggs, 1 block of cream cheese, 2 cups of Italian shredded cheese mix, 2 cups of ricotta cheese, 1 tablespoon of oregano, a tablespoon of garlic, and a 1/2 tablespoon of white pepper and garlic salt. We're gonna combine all that, mix it up, and then start layering our lasagna. All right, get our cheese in first. And this is an Italian mix that has like 6 different kinds of cheeses. I really love it. All right, the cream cheese. And I softened the cream cheese. All right, oregano. And then garlic salt, just a 1/2. And then white pepper, just a 1/2. garlic, 2 eggs, BSB farm eggs. There we go. And then 2 cups of the ricotta. There's one. That one wasn't a full one. All right, there we go. We're gonna mix this all up. I need enough because I have more meat and stuff because I'm doing almost 4 pounds of meat. So that is why I kind of doubled this recipe. So you don't have to do it this much. You can divide everything in half. But usually when you make lasagna, even if you're a small family and you make lasagna, I just feel like you always make it big. Like I just feel like lasagna is something that has to be big. You can't just make a small lasagna. Even if you have a small family, I just feel like lasagna is just one of those things that it's just huge. And nobody questions it, right? You have a family of 2 and you make this huge lasagna, nobody questions it. Because it's just one of those meals that are made to be big. And just like spaghetti and meatballs. I feel like spaghetti and meatballs, it's made to be big. Tater tot casserole, made to be big. All right, that looks great. My kids are gonna be so excited. I'm just not a lasagna person. I'm just not an Italian food person. I'm sorry. I like tacos, I like carnitas. Okay, all right, that looks great. All right, so now we're going to layer the lasagna. So I'm gonna get everything cleaned up, organized, and we're gonna come back and get this baby put together. All right, I got my sauce, meat, my ricotta mixture cheese, and then just regular cheese to put on the meat, and then my oven-ready no-bake lasagna noodles. We're gonna start by putting this sauce on the bottom because I just don't want my noodles to stick. I might do a little meat sauce too. I guess that kind of makes sense, but and just mix it around just so it doesn't stick. This is my favorite dish to make. Like, this is my favorite pan to use. I love my cast iron. Go. Okay. Now we're going to start by putting a layer of the meat on first. People ask us, do you guys like cheese? Absolutely we do. We love cheese, all kinds of cheese. It looks kind of good. I'm glad that I added the crushed tomatoes and the tomato paste, though. I think it would have been a little runny. I didn't put a lot of spices in my meat because I had already canned it with spices. All right, that looks good. Now I like it cheesy, so I'm gonna put a little cheese on it. Nice. This is nice. All right, here we go. Now we're gonna do a layer of noodles. I think I'll do them different this time because I feel like that middle is gonna get a lot of noodles. All right, that's one. So it looks like it's gonna take 2 boxes of noodles if you're doing a really big one like me, which you've gotta be because this is lasagna, right? There we go, just fill this in. All right, now we're gonna be doing cheese. And I only do 1 layer of cheese, so my layer is gonna go in the middle, then I'm gonna top it with meat. All right, this looks great. Oh, got a little bit on the thing here. I'm just gonna press it out. This is what I do when I ice a cake too. I put it in the middle and then just push it out. Got a little chunk of cream cheese here. Let's get that worked in. There we go. there we go. That's better. All right, let's get all of this cheese put in here. Maybe that's what you're supposed to do is one layer. I'm definitely not a lasagna. I'm not an expert at lasagna. Okay, there we go. So we're just gonna push it out to the edges. It just makes it easier and it helps the shells kind of stay more in place. They might move a little bit on you, but for the most part, they're gonna stay in place for you. All right. Can't wait for my kids to eat this. This is a favorite. Like, my kids love lasagna. And I mean, to be honest with you guys, I just get the Stouffer's. It's good. I know homemade lasagna is better, but I have tried lasagna. One time I made it and I put so much cheese in it that they couldn't eat it. It was so dry. Then I made it another time and I had so much sauce on it. It was like a soup. And my husband's like, I know. I say, for some reason, I'm just not a lasagna girl. All right, we don't want to waste any of this. I know there's sauce on there, but that's okay. Okay, and I'm gonna top it off with a little bit of cheese. There we go, and another layer of noodles. You guys are probably thinking, is this even going to overflow? I've been good so far. Okay. There we go. There we go. I might be a little short on noodles on the top. So I'm gonna take these centers out because I think that I might be a little short. I guess I need 3 boxes of noodles. All right, that'll work. And now our second layer of meat on top of that. Then we'll top it off with shells, cheese, and a little bit more sauce. Okay. And I'm gonna cook this at 375. It's probably gonna take about 45 minutes just because you want your noodles to be soft. Okay. And then I'm just gonna finish these noodles off. It might not be all over it, but we're gonna just top them off with a little bit of, just a little bit. I don't wanna waste anything, so we're just gonna do that. We'll cover them up with some meat and cheese and we'll be good. I mean, I guess I could have done just meat on top and then be done with it, but I'm gonna just put the rest of this in here. Wow, if that wasn't perfect. Whew. There we go. Just enough to cover up those shells. It's gonna be like quadruple meat on top. Ooh. All right, there we go. Beautiful. Holy cow, is this beautiful. All right, let me get stuff over this shells. Like I said, I'm not an expert at lasagna. There we go. Is it gonna drip over the edge? Probably. And now we're gonna top it off with cheese. Sometimes when I cook and it turns out really good, I feel like I'm like a chef. It's kind of cool. Why Haley always laughs at me. That's okay. I know she's not being mean. I don't know, maybe she is being mean. All right, that looks great. Now I'm just gonna use up this cheese. Why not? Let's just dump her. There we go. It is heaping over. Woo, is this gonna be something else when it cooks? I'm either gonna have a mess or it's gonna be the coolest thing ever. Okay, that looks great. And I think I'm gonna top it off with a little oregano. Izzy, should I top it off with oregano or parsley? What do you think?
Oregano.
Oregano? Okay.
But not a lot.
Actually, I think I'll top it off with basil. Yeah. I'm gonna top it off with a little basil. Well, I didn't mean to do the middle.
No, but that's still.
There we go.
Basil's strong.
There we go. It's strong, but it'll work into the noodles and stuff. Okay, that looks great. Okay, next up, put it into the oven, 375 for about 45 minutes. The lasagna is done. It turned out amazing. I also made garlic bread. It's still snowing outside. It is so cold. But thank you so much for joining me on another Cooking 101 where we made homemade lasagna. Make sure to subscribe to Just the Bells 10.